Hi, everyone. I'm Maureen McGuire. I'm Vice President of Communications here at CHR, and I'm so happy to welcome you to our Stress Less webinar series. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the topic of hydration, really important topic with regard to health. So thank you. We hope you find it informative. Really would love to hear from everyone who's listening in today or who listens in later. If you can complete the survey and just share some thoughts with us about topics you'd like to hear in future presentations. We are so happy to be able to share this information with you and help you stay healthy during these challenging times. Our presenters again today are Peggy Winsman, who is the Wellness Coordinator for CHR's CT First initiative, and Andrea Cordis, who is a trauma-informed yoga instructor. She's also with Bay Path College. And I'm happy to say she'll also be in the kitchen sharing recipes again today, since that was so popular last time. So it's a fantastic program. Thank you so much to Peggy and Andrea for putting so much thought into this and to sharing this fantastic information. Hope you enjoy it. And now I'm happy to introduce Peggy. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Maureen. And hi, everyone. Welcome to our third Stress Less session this summer. Welcome back to those of you who have been tuning in, and welcome to those who are new. In previous events, we've talked about ways to manage the high amount of stress that is present now in our lives. We have done mindfulness meditation, yoga with our friend Andrea Cordis, who, as you know, is here again today, and had the pleasure of Calvin Young providing us with sound healing. We've talked about nutrition, and Andrea started her very own home cooking show right here with us. Just kidding, but it was so much fun. And I have to say, I've been making smoothies every morning since then and loading them with antioxidants. Before this, I did smoothies occasionally, and now I've made a commitment to doing this. It really just means knowing what you have to have on hand and getting those ingredients. My shopping list has changed a bit, and I have to say it is not more costly in the long run, which I know we all worry about, because I'm shopping differently. I can tell you that it has made a big difference in my body. I feel better, I'm fuller throughout the day, I don't get hungry until dinner really, and I do have a light lunch. I'm not having food cravings like I used to have. So sometimes I'd have a big dinner, get really full, but then I'd still want that little sweet treat. I'd crave chocolate ice cream or just chocolate. And I'm not doing that as much anymore. I still have a little sweet treat now and then, but I think my body is getting more of the nutrients that it needs, so I'm not craving. So summer is a great time to start this new routine. I encourage you to do this. I stop at farm stands for my produce, and then just throw fresh berries, fruits, kale, spinach in the freezer. When I get them home, I wash them really well first, of course, and then dry them really well, put them in the freezer bags, and then throw them in the freezer. Each morning, I pick my flavor profile and throw frozen produce in the blender with my protein powder, ground flaxseed meal, kale or spinach, almond or rice milk. Sometimes I throw in some peanut butter if I'm feeling the extra boost that I need, and I usually throw in some cinnamon, because remember from the last session, spices contain the highest concentration of antioxidants. So what I'm really talking about here is being intentional in what you need to do and what you know is going to help you. Creating routines and staying with them matters, because you matter. Each of you matters. Which makes me think about the things that stare us in the face every day, every time I listen to the news, every time another life is lost. I'm talking specifically about those who are disproportionately impacted by COVID-19 due to poverty, cultural identification, race and ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and those with serious and persistent mental illness. These health disparities have long existed, and that these are the people with increased health risks and chronic illnesses. They continue to contract COVID and die at disproportionate rates. So I've got some numbers for you here. American Indian or Alaska Native persons, they have a hospitalization rate which is 5.3 times higher than people who are white. They have a death rate that is 1.4 times higher. Black or African American non-Hispanic persons have a hospitalization rate of 4.7 times higher than white people. The death rate is 2.1 times higher. Hispanic or Latino persons have a hospitalization rate 4.6 times greater than white people, and the death rate is 1.1 times higher. Studies also show that people with serious mental illness die 25 years sooner than the general population. This is something that we at CHR have been and continue to work hard to reverse. So as we talk about managing our stressors and caring for ourselves, I'm also talking about fighting for our rights and the rights of those around us. Our right to equality and safety, and of course dignity and respect, and the right to feel and be well. We know these stressors are not going away soon. They grow, they continue to change every day. So we have to fight back and do our best to continue to stay healthy and positive. That means routines that will provide stress reduction, wellness boosting, and happiness, which is so important. It also means advocating for your needs and helping those around you to advocate for theirs. When you give feedback today, I would love to hear from you about what new routines you've embraced and what else you might need from us to help stay on track, to get started, whatever you need, as Maureen also said. No worries if you have not started any of these routines, there's no shame. You can always start today. So today's format, if you remember, we have been tackling the 6 tenets of wellness: thoughts, breathing, nutrition, movement, hydration, and then there's sleep. Sleep we have not tackled yet. We're going to do that in the next session, maybe next month. Each of these things has something to do with our happiness, how we feel, how we behave, and our overall wellness. These are all things that we need to focus on and to have our best health. We've worked on the first 3. So the first 2, the thoughts and the breathing, that is mindfulness meditation. Andrea's continue to provide great movement through yoga. And last time, if you were with us, you know, I did a little bit of stress reduction for our upper body. Our bodies hold a lot of stress. So important to know how to release that stress when you're sitting at your desk all day. So I've included a slide today for a review of mindfulness meditation. And I have some resources for you so that you can start to develop a mindfulness meditation practice if you are interested. Mindfulness meditation is something that I've really wrapped my head around a lot during these first months of COVID, and it's helped me a lot, and I think it's helped others as well. Our new focus today will be on the importance of hydration, strategies for improving water intake, and information about how much water we need to take in each day to sustain our activities successfully. Andrea is going to work from her home cooking studio again to talk about many hydrating foods and show us how to make fresh watermelon juice, which sounds so delicious. I'm excited about that. And of course, she's going to provide recipes. She also has a list of foods that are dehydrating, so those foods that you're going to want to stay away from when it comes to hydration. And then, as promised, we'll continue with movement. And I do have to apologize today, as I was going to do some high-intensity cardio exercise, my favorite thing. Then I sustained an injury. So I'm going to take care of myself, take care of my body, as we all should do, and let it heal for a couple of weeks. And but the next time I join, I should be fine. Andrea will conclude our session then with Tai Chi. She's going to expand on what she was going to do, which will help us to stabilize our heart rates, bring inner peace and balance, and help us to feel flowy like the water that we're drinking more of. So in our first session, we did a guided mindfulness meditation, and people expressed that they really enjoyed this. It is an effective tool for wellness, and creating a routine practice can change many things. Mindfulness meditation is found to help increase our well-being, alleviate aspects of depression and anxiety, increase emotional reactivity, improve our ability to regulate our behavior. So it just makes us more even. Just 1 week of brief daily mindfulness meditation practice yields improvement in attention, increased energy, and decreased stress. Long-term practitioners of meditation actually have more gray matter density in brainstem regions associated with cardiorespiratory control. And this is the ability of our circulatory and our respiratory systems to work together to supply oxygen to our skeletal muscles especially during sustained physical activity. It's a really important function. So you may also have heard Andrea and I both say that our breath is our anchor. It helps to ground us, to bring us to the here and now. Therapists use the breath in guiding people to manage anxiety, anger, and rage more effectively. I'm sure you've heard the expression to take a step back and breathe. It's a powerful tool. So practice breathing deeply often. So I've also included some resources today in your packet for mindfulness meditation. If you simply Google mindfulness meditation, you'll find an abundance of things that you can engage in and ways that you can practice. Headspace is a phone app for anxiety, meditation, and for sleep. I know a lot of people who use that regularly and they find it very helpful. There are virtual meditation groups, blog.simplehabit.com. I really like this website. I found it recently. There are many simple ways to implement new routines, managing holiday stress, anxiety. It's got a lot of educational information available for us. So the important phrase of the day is meditation and intention setting are powerful tools that we can use simultaneously to clear our minds and get focused on what matters. So the last resource I have for you is CHR. As we have our own meditation line, there's a public number. You dial that number on the screen, or for CHR phones, when you are working or you're a client there, you just dial *#6. And in both of those cases, you're going to press 1 for a 3-minute meditation and press 2 for a 5-minute meditation. It's a great way during your day to provide some structure. If you're feeling stressed or you're moving too fast or you've got to really keep it together for the next meeting, it's a great way to reset. I've used it often. So hydration, our big topic today, very important. In my experience, one of the more difficult things for many people to do is to drink enough water. It does not have much of a taste, and some people are turned off by how it does taste. Water is health. We take in water, we lose it through digestion and through our skin by the sun, wind, cold, physical activities, and we have to replace it, which we forget about sometimes. So how much water does it take to replace what we lose? According to this chart, which I like this chart, also gives us some structure, it takes about 1 glass of water for every 20 pounds of body weight. So as an example, I weigh around 120 pounds. So according to this, I should drink 6 glasses of water a day. I actually drink closer to 8 to 9 glasses a day because I'm pretty active. And once if you're not a water drinker, once you start to develop that habit, you'll be able to gauge. You'll get some cues from your body that tell you you need more, that kind of thing. I've heard people talk about the difficulty they have in drinking much water. Again, if you become intentional about doing this, you'll drink water throughout your day. In this chart, you can see how they've provided some structure here for you. You'll drink a couple of glasses after you wake up in the morning, once before each of your meals, as it does help you to feel more full, once before your bath or shower, and before you go to bed at night. when you work out, whether you walk or run, if you go to the beach, you'll add water accordingly. If you struggle with the taste, you can add fruit, lemons, limes, cherries, kiwi. I love to put some mint in water, with some ice, and put it in a nice glass pitcher. It looks beautiful. People will report feeling better when they begin to hydrate properly. They can tell the difference. If you become lightheaded, dizzy, feel a bit foggy brain, the first question to ask yourself is, have I had enough water today? It will help. People don't often think about that. So what will change once you schedule your water drinking in every day? It helps improve your mood. It boosts brain power because our water is made up of mostly water. It helps with a healthy heart because it reduces, when we're drinking enough water, it reduces our blood pressure, an important thing. It removes toxins. I couldn't read my screen here. Provides for clearer skin, lubricates our joints, helps create lean muscle, and it helps with weight loss. And I've got a chart here that tells us a little bit more about the details on that. So it's a natural headache remedy. So headaches, migraines, back pain are commonly caused by dehydration. So if you're drinking enough water, it helps reduce and prevent those. It prevents cramps and sprains. Hydration helps to keep joints lubricated and muscles more elastic. So joint pain is less likely. If you wake up in the middle of the night with muscle pain in your legs, it may be because you're dehydrated. It helps your mood. When your body's functioning is at its best, you'll feel good and you'll be happy. It helps to save money. Water's free, even if you drink bottled or filtered water. It's still cheaper than the high sugar and fat lattes that we like to have sometimes. They're really expensive and they're not good for you at all. It increases energy and relieves fatigue. Since your brain is mostly made up of water, as I was saying, drinking it helps you to think, focus, and concentrate better and be more alert. Promotes weight loss, removes the byproducts of fat, reduces hunger, and your eating intake, raises metabolism, and it has 0 calories. Flushes out toxin, so it gets rid of waste through sweat and urination, which reduces the risk of kidney stones and UTIs. It improves skin complexion, moisturizes your skin, makes it fresh and soft and glowing and smooth. It is nature's anti-aging treatment. Maintains regularity, so it aids in digestion as water is essential to digest your food and prevents constipation. It boosts our immune system. So a water guzzler is less likely to get sick. Drinking plenty of water helps fight against flu, cancer, and other ailments like heart attacks. So now we're going to join Andrea in the kitchen, and she can tell us about those foods that will help with hydration. Hi, Andrea.
Right.
Welcome.
Hi, Peggy. Thank you very much. That was a great intro to hydration. So on the next slide, I'm going to introduce to you some of the most hydrating foods that are out there. So the title here is Eat Your Water, which might sound kind of funny, but you can see on this chart that all of these foods have really high water content. They're all above, just about above 90. I think there's one that's just below 90, but pretty close. And these are all foods that you can eat in a salad, you can eat on their own, you can pair them with each other and get that extra boost of water. And you can actually use the foods that are on this list to take up about 20% of your daily intake of water. So I have most of these foods. I don't have all of these foods here in my kitchen, but I do have most of them. So cucumbers, this happens to be an English cucumber. I prefer it myself. It's a little less There's less seeds in an English cucumber versus a regular cucumber, but cucumbers have 96% water, and you can eat them just as is. You can slice them up just as they are. They have a very mild taste, and you can even just throw it in a salad. Zucchini is my next favorite one. Zucchini is 94% water, and if you've ever made zucchini bread, I know I make zucchini bread and you have to shred the zucchini to incorporate it into your bread, like a banana bread. The bottom of the bowl is filled with water because it's 94% water. So that makes it a really hydrating food. So you can bake with zucchini. I love to roast zucchini, or you could steam it. You can even grill zucchini if you like to grill. The next one is celery. Celery is one that a lot of people forget has a lot of water. So there's 95% water in celery, and you might forget that it is full of water because it's so crunchy that it doesn't kind of feel like that watery vegetable like a zucchini or a cucumber might. I like to just take celery, and my kids love it too. They'll just dip celery in a little bit of ranch dressing or blue cheese dressing, even Italian dressing, something like that, just to get that extra boost of water and that extra flavor. Tomatoes are another one. And tomatoes, I think, to me, you can see the water a little bit more when you slice open that tomato. There's that watery inside. They're 92% water, and that's, again, a great thing to add to your salad. Or I also like to grill with tomatoes. I like to put them on a kebab and grill them or roast them in the oven. I'm going to skip over watermelon for a minute because we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Broccoli. Broccoli is another one like celery that a lot of people forget, and I put cauliflower in there as well. I don't have cauliflower with me today, but both are above 90% water. Again, you could eat these raw if that's how you like it. You could dip that in a little bit of dressing as well, or again, I love to steam them. I love to roast them. Roasted cauliflower is so good. And then the last ones that are on my list are more of a fruit. So we have watermelon, which water's in the name, so it's got to have a lot of water in it, right? 92% water. I will literally buy a watermelon at the beginning of the week and cut it up in the beginning of the week, and then keep it in my refrigerator in containers. I'll do that with watermelon, cantaloupe, which is 89%, honeydew, which isn't on here, but it's also 89%. I will cut those up and toss them in a bowl and just have them in my fridge all week. And by the end of the week, if I have any left over, I toss them in a Ziploc bag and put them in my freezer, because then I can throw them in my smoothies later on and they don't go bad. All of these foods are, and blueberries is also on there. I don't have any blueberries, but they're 95% water. Also great in the freezer as well for your smoothies. So these foods can be purchased for relatively low cost, especially when they're in season. That's when you really want to look for those. In season melons, usually $3 or $4 for a whole melon, and it'll last me at least a week. And again, if I freeze it, it lasts me even longer. So we're going to go on to the dehydrating food list. These are the foods and drinks that you want to avoid. So you want to avoid extra sugar, extra salt. Those are going to suck the hydration right out of your body. Your cured meats, that's like a pepperoni or salami, those have a lot of salt in them. And even your traditional deli meats, those have a lot of salt as well because they're very processed. So you want to look for deli meats that might say low salt or low sodium. Salty snacks like your chips and salted nuts, things like that. Anything with extra salt added you want to avoid. Even things that have no salt added, they are a little bit better for you, but just look at the sodium content too, even on those packages. Fatty and fried foods. So all of these foods that I told you before, fried zucchini sounds really good, but it's much better if you roast it or steam it. Sugary sodas. I've never been a soda drinker myself, but I know there's a lot of people that want to have that soda with their meal. Even a diet soda is a dehydrating beverage as well. So you want to avoid those if you can. On the next slide I'm going to get to, we're going to make a drink that could replace that because it's a sweet drink that doesn't have added sugar or added sodium, because there's also sodium in sodas. Coffee. I love coffee, but I try to limit myself to 1 cup in the morning. Coffee is a dehydrating beverage, but just in moderation, right? Alcohol is also a dehydrating beverage as well. So again, these drinks that we're going to make in the next slide are going to be able to replace those. So the slide has watermelon juice as the recipe, but you can really do this with any melon. You can do this with cantaloupe, you can do this with honeydew. I have all three here today that I'm going to show you. And really all I do is I fill my smoothie cup or your blender with the cubed melon. So I have it all pre-cut in pretty small cubes. So you can do this with a fresh, or you can even do it with frozen if you want your drink to be more of like a slushy consistency. So you're gonna put that all in your smoothie cup or your blender. You can add a little bit of lime juice. You can add a little bit of coconut water. Coconut water on its own is very hydrating. But those are just optional. You don't have to add anything. The melon has enough liquid in it itself. If you like your beverage a little thinner, maybe you want to add a little water. So then you just put the blender on together. I recommend pulsing it a few times first and then just let it blend completely. So I've made all three here. I've made honeydew, cantaloupe, and watermelon. I'm going to show you the honeydew first, because what I did with the honeydew is I left it as is. So it's a little bit on the thicker side. It's not a thin juice. So if you don't like that consistency, just a little mesh strainer will do the trick. Pour into a glass through the mesh strainer, or if you don't have a strainer, you can use just like a coffee filter. That will work as well. It will take a little bit longer. So that's the honeydew. This is the cantaloupe. What a gorgeous color that is, right? And this one I strained, so it's a nice thin liquid. I have been restraining myself from drinking these because I made them earlier and I just want to drink them all. Oh, and this is the watermelon juice. So good. When I was in Guatemala I vacation in Guatemala pretty often because I have family there, they serve watermelon juice with just about every breakfast, and I just fell in love. It is so delicious and so hydrating for you. So that's all it is. It's literally melon in a blender. One step, that's it. So I'm going to turn it back to Peggy for just a few minutes.
Thank you so much. That was great. I can't wait to try the watermelon juice. I love watermelon. So while Andrea goes to get into her yoga studio, I'm going to share with you something. We asked you before, when you registered for this seminar, we asked you to share how much water you drink. And I've got the results of that survey here, which is really interesting. So 43% of you that responded drink 1 or less glasses of water a day. And that's my experience in the world when I ask people. 43% of you also drink 4 to 5 glasses a day. And then the other 14% of you drink 6 to 10 glasses a day. So those are folks that probably, I'm assuming you exercise or you walk a lot and you're really good about taking care of your hydration needs. So that's really good. When you fill out the survey at the end of this, then just make sure, I'm really curious to find out how many of you will increase your water intake because of the information we gave you today. I'm hoping that will be the fact. We'll see. So Andrea should be joining us in just a moment. There she is, like magic. You can take it away.
Okay, so this slide is all about Tai Chi. If you've never done Tai Chi before, just know that it is a form of martial arts, but it is a very gentle form of martial arts. So everything we do is either a block or an attack, but it's not meant to cause any harm. So Tai Chi is definitely a martial arts, but it is a gentle version of that. What it's great for is improving strength and flexibility and balance, joint mobility, your body awareness and focus and attention. I have improved sequencing on here, and what that really just means is putting things together. So whether that's your morning routine or planning your week out or even planning a meal, sequencing is involved in that. And when we do Tai Chi, we sometimes will put movements together in a pattern or a sequence. And so doing a Tai Chi practice regularly can help improve that part of your brain functioning. So just like water improves your brain function, Tai Chi also does. Tai Chi is also filled with slow, intentional movements. I know Peggy and I both talk about intention and having that intentional purpose in your movement is really kind of the root of Tai Chi. So it promotes relaxation and self-awareness and self-regulation. It's very grounding. It's also very calming and centering. And really, that intentional movement is so phenomenal to watch a large group of Tai Chi masters do. So if you have a chance, just go look up some YouTube videos of Tai Chi groups, and you can really see some pretty impressive movements on a larger scale. So what we're going to do today is, I have to take my glasses off when I'm far away. So we're going to do a few Tai Chi movements that are kind of based on a water theme. So a lot of Tai Chi movements and forms, they're called forms, are named after nature. So there's a lot of water themed movements in Tai Chi. So we're going to start first with our Tai Chi greeting. So we're going to make a loose fist. Like I said, Tai Chi is a martial art, so it is a fist, but it's a loose fist, an open fist. We're going to take a flat palm right on top of the flat part of your knuckles. So it's just a little bow forward there. And that bow is out of respect and honor towards yourself, towards anyone else that you're practicing with. It would be also directed towards them. So in Tai Chi, we start typically, and you can't see my feet, but my feet are heels together and toes apart. So it's kind of like a V. So if that's comfortable for you to stand in, or you can always be sitting in a chair. Your legs are kind of together, you're standing up tall, and then you're going to shift your weight over to one side and step your feet out so that you're about hip distance apart. So hip distance with your toes facing slightly outward. We're going to do what's called flowing motion. Flowing motion is kind of the beginning of a few different sequences in Tai Chi. Your palms are going to start facing the back of your body. And in Tai Chi, you're a very loose and soft knee and hip. So it's not a rigid straight leg, it's a softness. In Tai Chi, we're going to link the breath with our movement. So we're going to breathe in through our nose as we bring our arms up. And they're very soft and loose and flowy. And then we're going to breathe out through our mouth and gently bring everything down. And you can do a little squat here if you like. So we're going to do this 3 times together. So breathe in. That slow, intentional movement, and breathe out. That's 1, 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1 more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then come back to that loose knee, that loose hip. We're going to do ripples in the water now. So ripples in the water, we're just going to take our palms and rest them about hip height, about waist height, and imagine it as if you're standing in water. So I like to stand in a nice warm, like a hot springs or a nice warm pool, and rest your hands as if you're just resting them on top of the water. And then looking down towards your hands, imagine that you just toss a pebble in the center where each of your hands are. And then when you toss pebbles in the water, they just begin to make those little ripples, right? And they're just a tiny little circle to start with. And then they get a little bit bigger and even a little bit bigger. And your hands can go further away from you and make these bigger ripples. And your breath is just steady in through your nose, out through your mouth here. There's not necessarily a connection between the circles and your breath. So you're just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then let's begin to bring those circles back towards the center. So back, make your circles a little bit smaller and start to bring them a little bit closer to your body. And then finally, bring them to stillness. Rest them on top of the water for a moment. So the next one we're going to do is waterfalls. So waterfalls, we're going to do 3 times towards the front, 3 times towards one side, and then 3 times towards the other side. So I'll show it to you first once, and then we'll do 3 together on each side. So your palms are going to face the front of your body, so you're going to face your thighs or your waist. And then as you breathe in, bring them up the front of your body, get to your heart, and as you breathe out, turn your palms away from you and bow forward. You don't have to bow very far. You can bow as far as is comfortable for you. So let's do 3 to the front. Inhale up. Exhale out. That's 1. That's 2. 1 more in the front. And that's 3. Let's turn to the side, and we'll do 3 towards one side, and then we'll turn to the other. So breathe in and out. In and out. In one more time, and out. Come through center to the other side. In, out. 2 more. Last one. And then come back to center. Take a breath in between. So the last one we're going to do is called Inner River Flowing, and it's a little bit more on the complex side. Doesn't mean it's more difficult, it just means there's more steps involved. So again, all of these can always be done seated. I'm sure those are probably easy to see how you do them seated. This one is a little bit different, where you're just moving your foot out and in as well. So we're going to start by breathing in, bring your hands to your heart and bring your toe, so one toe in towards the other foot. Can't necessarily see my feet here, but that's okay. Then we're going to, as we breathe out, step that foot forward and press our hands away as we push into that knee. Inhale, come back. And then exhale, press down towards your foot. You can go as far as is comfortable for you. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, press out. You'll probably get it by the 3rd time we do it, and then we'll switch sides. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. This is the last one. Exhale out. Inhale back. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale, step your feet together. Well, about hip distance. Let's do the other side. We'll do 3 to the other side. So turn towards that side. Bring those toes closer to your other foot. Hands at your heart. Inhale. Exhale, step forward. Press out. Inhale, pull back. Exhale, press down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, press forward. Inhale, pull back. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Last time, exhale, forward. Inhale, back. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. And exhale, step your feet to about hip distance apart. So we'll do just a few little cool downs before we close for the day. So the first cool down is just empty coat sleeves, and really all you're doing is swinging your arms as if they were empty coat sleeves, just kind of flopping around, right? And this is just to really shake off some of the energy that you created. So in Tai Chi, Chi is energy, and you create that energy while you're doing the movement. So let's just start to slow down. Let your arms kind of slow down on their own until they stop. And then we're going to build up some new energy. So rub your hands together. This is where we get our energy from in Tai Chi. Separate your hands just slightly, and then take that energy, start at one shoulder, slide all the way down to your fingertips. Start at the other shoulder, slide all the way down. And then start at both hips and slide all the way down as far as is comfortable for you to go. You don't have to go to your toes, but you can if you like. And then the last cool down. Make 2 little circle fists with your hands, open fists. We're going to tap 3 times on each thigh, 3 times. Your options here, foot flat on the floor, lifting up your heel and resting your toes on the floor, or lifting your knee completely. So your choice, your practice. So it's 3 taps, 1, 2, 3, starting at the top of the thigh, working towards the knee, 3 times. And I highly recommend watching some Tai Chi videos just so that you can see that beauty of a large group of people doing that slow, intentional movement together, rhythmically, and in sync. So let's do our Tai Chi greeting again to close. So a loose fist, flat palm on top of that flat part of your knuckles, a little bow forward as we honor and respect each other. And that is your little introduction to some water-based Tai Chi movements. I hope you enjoyed that.
Andrea, that was great. And before we close, I want to take some time, just first of all, thank you for joining us during each of these sessions. You just bring so much to it, and it's a lot of fun to do it with you every time. So thank you. And I also want to thank our audience for attending and hopefully participating at home with us. And thank you for coming. Thank you for taking care of yourselves. And in turn, thank yourselves for doing that as well.
Definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next time.